We're back on the Buick, folks. Got the new sensors here from General Motors. Still waiting on the connector, so we don't have that yet, but we can at least pop this in, see if the code goes away. It looks like they were kind of heated. Come on, maybe I gotta loosen her up just a little bit more. The connector is supposed to be here today also. All right, there's that. So here's the old one we took out. OEM doesn't appear to be physically damaged. So we'll slip this little guy in there. Tighten her down to factory specs, if we will. There we go. Factory spec on that baby. Probably should have plugged it in first, but we didn't. I'll be the next 25 minutes or so plugging it in. Which way was the red tab facing? Towards the latch, I believe. Oh, look at that. First try. Oh, even locked in a red lock. Let's grab a scan tool and see if the code's gone for the right side. Got her hooked up. She auto-VIN'd. Let's see. We're just going to go to list. Inflatable restraints. We'll just skip right to that module. We'll read the codes. We'll probably have to clear the old one out. Right front side impact. History not current, not current. Says it's not current, not requested. So we're going to erase the codes here. And then we'll reread it. We should just have the left side impact open. Let's go put the left side in. Remember, the connector's bad on that front one, if you remember from the first video. But we fiddled with a connector and it's making connection now, but we know full well if we go touch it, it'll come on. But let's go put the left side in and this code should go away. Got our other new one. Pop this up. So he did say this car was in a collision, but it was just a deer hit, no airbags deployed or anything. And it was quite a while ago, more than a year, so. All right, there's the old one. Again, nothing physical, no corrosion, nothing weird. Oops. We'll mount it first, I guess. Kind of hold that up in there where it kind of latches down inside that keyhole, you know. Factory specs on that. Plugged in. Red lock is latched. Alright, key is back on. We're going to erase the codes. And then we're going to reread the codes. I don't hear any dinging going on. So look at that. She's all fixed. We just got to wait for that connector. Wonder what in the world. What the world? That's what I like to say all the time. What the world happened to these? How did both these things go bad? To the best of the customer's recollection at the same time. You know what I mean? Because he says his light wasn't on, then it was. So just really kind of bizarre to me, if you ask me, but what do I know? I'm going to take a slide the door panels back on this baby. We'll wait for that connector to show up. Just seems real weird to me, man. Give me the part number here. Made in Canada. Our Canadian friends to the north made these, so these are the part numbers I used. 13576422. They're both the same. Yeah, both the same. So yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious to know what your guys' thoughts are. I suspect that the airbag light's been on for a little while. Is the only thing I can suspect. But the fact of the matter is, you wouldn't think, because when you start these cars, it dings at you every single time. I would think somebody would be quite aware that the airbag light's on. So I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Free tip Friday for you folks. You guys remember remember taking this door apart, a few things. Some of the clips were kind of bent up, indicating that perhaps somebody was already in here. But the main thing was, it was a son of a bee to get off because of this little ordeal here. So we're gonna slide this little guy, slide it right off. ideally, in the real world, if everything was perfect, these little metal clips would have came out when we took the door panel off. According to service data, it just said, pull, yank your little heart out. But we're smart, we don't want to break stuff because we know everything's made out of crappy plastic. So, to put this thing together though, these do have to come out. Service data also states that if any of these pop out of the door, you have to replace them all. Like that's ever gonna happen. They're a sucker to get out because they want to, you know, the plastic that they go into will break. So we've got to try to reach behind them, kind of wedge them up, reach behind them, try to hit the latch. They're a double latcher. I'll have to get a light. I'll show you how to take out one of them. And then we'll proceed to take them out, stick them on the car how they belong. Just, it snaps together really nice, so during assembly this must be really nice, but during disassembly or reassembly, these things kind of suck. So pretty standard, you know, metal clip. It's got to push a little retainer on both ends. What happens if you try to just stick a pick under them or a prying device underneath them and just yank? One of these inevitably will bend down and spread open, and then, or the plastic will break. This plastic is super brittle. So you just kind of got to be careful. You can try to pry them up. Every once in a while you'll get lucky, just like that last one I just did. Well, that one's not too bad. The last door was a real pain. Try to hold them center, like that one doesn't want to release. Just don't pry them too much, because if you do, like I say, the metal will bend. You know, get kind of jammed down there. Yeah, so 3 of them came out not too bad. Kind of hold up on it. There's that one. And I'll show you where they go on the car. Makes putting the door panel a whole lot easier, putting it back together. Come on, baby. So you take your metal clips. Whoa. They don't have to be absolutely perfect, because the slot that these click into, I don't know if you guys got a good view of that before, but the slot that these click into on the panel is pretty big. It's pretty elongated. There's that. This thing's kind of a piss pot. I taped it up because it wants to swing down like that. The little cutout here goes up by the quarter glass. I kind of got to tweak it just a little bit to get her underneath. Over there. Nope, not quite. Come on, straighten out, baby. There she goes. Make sure it's all laying how it should. There's that. And then now we can take, so ideally when you took the door panel off, these would have been just like that. You would have grabbed the door panel and clunk, pulled it away. If you do that, I'll tell you 100% you're gonna break most of the top of that door where these go in. Or like I say, the metal tab here will bend up and over, and then it will just break the plastic on the way out. So I think we did the best that we could do, taking the door panel off, lifting it up, taking the molding with it. That way we were careful not to break anything on the door itself. So let's go get the panel. You gotta hook up your release and one electrical connector, and that's it. Got all the pins straightened out the best I could. The ones that were kind of bent over there. There's one on the bottom. This very bottom one here looks like it hasn't been put in correct for a long time. So anyhow, it's gonna be really difficult to show how this goes on, but you'll get the concept here. First of all, we're gonna plug it in. Push down the red lock. Ooh, almost rookie mistake of the year. Let's hook our door cable up. Get that baby back in. That's back in. Now we'll get our door lock back under there. So it falls right in the world. Ooh. It's all lined up here. There is a alignment pin on the doors. Right here, well, yeah, right below here, there's an alignment peg. And there's another one here on the front of this door. Get them lined up. Get those snapped in. And then go around and literally just click the door in like that. Let me go get my nut driver there. Let's see, set this stuff down. Guess before we get too far here, we'll make sure everything works. Alright, all that stuff works. We'll take and stick our screws back in the door pull. Let's get them all started before we tighten them down. But you can see how, from an assembly standpoint, that this door would go together very quickly. You know, if your job at the factory is to attach the door panel to the door, it would only take you about a second to do so. But from a disassembly standpoint, those metal clips are an absolute disaster to work with. You don't see them much anymore nowadays, but every once in a while you'll run across some of them and they can be a real piss pot. So there's that. Stick the finger goo catcher back down in there. Stick this back up in here. It only goes in one way. There's a couple little fingers on that, and then the little tabs on top. Stick the little fingers down in, click that in, and then clean off the door panel. We gotta make sure we unlatch the latch. There we go. Because I had it latched, so I didn't have to listen to the door dinger. Perfect. Looks good. Lucky us, the FedEx just showed up with our new connector from Connector Experts, not a sponsor. This is where we buy a fair amount of connectors from. They make all kinds of stuff. Even if you're looking for stuff, you can text them a picture. Too much to list. Go check them out. But here it is. They sell individual pigtails. They sell all kinds of stuff. This is just a wire lead. 8 inches of wire. They said 8 inches, more like 12. There it is. There's that. Should be the right one. There's our battery maintainer. There's pop this red clip back. Wiggle this little guy off there. Fish it around so we can get to it a little better. We'll probably leave longer leads on it than necessary. Make it a little easier. Let's have a look. Appears to be the same. Exactly the same. Good. I guess we don't even need this. We get our wire cutting and chopping stuff, and we'll chop it off and get the new one on there. Had some Tessa tape on it. I opened up the loom. Let's see, we actually will cut her a little closer. There's that one. There's that one, so we can still identify who goes where. These are pretty tiny. Strip them back just a little bit. About that much, about 6 millimeters probably. Oops, missed it. There's that. That one's a little less. Now I've already cut our connector down a little bit. It came with some non-insulated barrel connectors and some heat shrink, so that's what we're going to use. Makes a good connection. I'm going to open up the tape here just a little bit more. Okay, first one we're going to do is the black with the orange stripe, which is this one right here. Gotta get close so my eyes can see here. Got my readers on. Make sure we don't get any stray strands. There's that. We'll hold that. We'll grab use the non-insulated portion of your crimpers here, which is the ones with the little donger sticking off them. Hold the wire, a little tug. At this point, you look to say, did I put the heat shrink on? Hopefully you did. Slip that one over. Same thing. Give that a squeeze right there. And that one's good. Beautiful. Pull back our tape a little. We'll slide our heat shrink on. Now make sure you use a good heat shrink, the heat shrink that has the adhesive in it. It's got quite a bit heavier wall. Put that about the halfway point. We'll grab our heat gun here. We'll tune her down to a... Now don't ever do this next to the battery. I'm gonna let that cool for just a second. I'll slide the other one down. I'm gonna peel that tape back just a little bit more. Slide this one down. Make sure you see the adhesive kind of ooze out of there. It's pretty obvious. Alright, they look good. So I'm just going to hold these till they cool. Make sure they don't touch and become adhered together. And then we'll plug it in. We should have plugged it in first, right? To make sure it was right, but we didn't. So we'll suffer the consequences if we're wrong. Not to mention it was a very expensive connector. Alright, she's pretty cool now. We're going to tape her back up with the Tessa tape. So some people ask because they can't understand my words. It's Tessa, T-E-S-A. Okay? It's a really super good tape. I think they use it on a lot of Euro stuff. But it has really good abrasion resistance. And it's super sticky to itself. It's not too bad to work with. We'll just start back down here where we left off.
Yeah.
And
let's see. Yeah.
Kind of fold it around there. We could have done the old socket trick and wrapped this around a small socket, but like I say, this stuff doesn't seem sticky by itself, but as soon as you touch it to itself, it clings on pretty dang good. Alright, so we'll end that right there. We'll put the poly loom back on it. Our wire's going to be a little longer than it was, but I didn't want to tear a whole bunch of stuff apart to keep it short. See you later now. We may get some points deducted at the car show if somebody sees this. We're gonna run it back behind that ground how it was. Bring it back over, plug it in, close it up, hide the little extra. We'll bring it around. We just want to make sure it's not pinched. We don't want to restrict the flow of electricity by having it pinched off, you know. So that's that. We should be good. Again, check them out. Connector Experts. Not a sponsor. Give them a call. Super helpful. Probably not focusing. Hopefully it is. But Connector Experts. Go online. Find them on the World Wide Web. That's it, folks. We're done. All we got left now is to fix the rear wiper, but the wiper motor is on a back order. We'll have it here in a couple days, hopefully, from General Motors. Maybe we'll do a video on that. The motor's just bad. So let's verify that this works. Easiest way to verify that is to just start it up first of all. We should have no airbag light on. Alright, airbag light's out. We'll dismiss that. And there we are. So he's back to being fixed again. So we're just gonna sit here to turn the key on a Chevrolet. You gotta hold the button for a while. All right, let's go make sure there's no codes. And we do that over here. Go in here again. Go to codes, read codes, no codes. So always reread them just to be sure. Sometimes it brings up the old list, but. And then I think what I'm gonna do, if I remember right, this thing had a whole bunch of like low voltage codes and stuff from a previous low battery. So we'll just go through and wipe them out. Well, we got the scan tool hooked up. If I remember correctly, that's what it had in it. A bunch of old history codes. Yeah, history code for parking brake switch. These are all history codes. Voltage low. Quarter jar. Yeah, these are all history codes. All history, not current. So we'll give it the old quick erase, turn everything green, make us feel good. That's it, folks. Fixing the airbag light on your Buick Envision Essence, whatever, little Buick car. They happen to have just two bad sensors and a bad connector. We were able to prove out every single fault by using some logic. So I think I mentioned in the first part of the video, to do this, you know, by the book, so to speak, they've got you disconnecting everything and doing, you know, ohm checks, which, you know, ohm checks are virtually worthless in most cases when you're checking wire integrity. We chose to do it by shorting them out because the computer has the ability to see a short circuit, you know. There's obviously a lot of redundancy built into circuits nowadays. I'm not a big computer circuit guy. But there's protective devices, or the ability for that device to detect an open circuit, short to voltage, you know, short to ground. So clearly grounding these circuits, once we know their design, doesn't hurt them. But I guess with that being said, if you don't know the circuit design, how it functions, or its ability to detect faults, don't just go shorting things out or using your power probe to, you know, stick power and stuff at things. It could get real stupid real quick. And that's it. We proved they were bad. I don't know. Prove what you got to prove to me in that comment section. Questions, comments, find us on the Insta and the Facebook. You guys know what to do. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.